Hey guys, what's going on? Stephen Tenner here from Tenner Talk, where we speak truth and from the heart always. It's Memorial Day. Thanks for tuning in to the Grassroots Warrior Network, a network made possible by patriots like you. Thank you for that. I have a very special guest, and go figure, he's a veteran, Derek Johnson. Good man, very good man, and wanted to just set this up. I caught up with him just a few days ago, so we recorded, and you're going to watch that right now. But first, I wanted to thank all of our veterans, all of our military, everybody working behind the scenes as part of the global military operation and any other operation, whether it's incognito or in your face. So thank you for fighting. Thinking about those that are no longer with us, fighting for our freedom. I'm not barbecuing. I don't say Happy Memorial Day anymore. There's nothing happy about it. And we have to learn as a nation, as a world, the true meaning of Memorial Day. So I'm just spending some quiet time and reflecting on the madness we've been going through basically our entire lives and our ancestors' lives, and that's what the fight is about. We're going to restore this planet back to the way God gave it to us, and we're going to be free, we're going to have love, and we're going to have all of this beautiful stuff. So I'll catch up with you at the end, but without further ado, here's Derek Johnson, and we have a little bit of fun. This is a different type of interview, so we hope you enjoy it. For the trolls and the people that want to do comments afterwards, just remember the title of this is Derek Johnson and I Talk. Okay? That means he's my guest, but we're both talking. So I might talk as much as him. I might talk more than him if God wants that. So save the let the guest talk thing and all of that bullshit. Just save it. Don't waste any of my time. Anyway, without further ado, here's Mr. Derek Johnson. Derek Johnson, what's going on, brother?
Oh man, just living the life, and just another day in the world of truth, right? That's what we do. It's
That's what we
amazing
do,
how many,
brother. We
it is
get
amazing
beat
how
up
many
for
people
it.
get mad at truth, right? It's so funny. It's like they
That's
want
why
it, but
we're
they get mad about it. I was like,
that's why we're talking. I wanted to say first of all, dude, I man love, total heterosexual. I love women, total man love. I love you so much. I love your tenacity, your steadfast work for God. God will not let us stop until you are one of the called. I know I'm one of the called. There are many of the called. I'd like to thank them. I want to thank the military. I want to thank you for your prior service in the military and your continued service as a digital soldier. And we have to fight this fight. And really, I want to tell you how much I love you, and I feel your pain. You know, I try to retweet and share as many of your posts as possible. You know, when you're just so fired up at how asleep and how everyone is still possibly suffering with sheepnesia. I feel your pain, bro, because one minute I want to knock people's teeth out if I thought that would help them wake up. One minute I want to just love on them. But mostly we have to feel bad for them because imagine like what they have to go through yet. If they're still asleep, imagine what they have to go through. The good news is, and this is going to be a totally different show, brother. I didn't even tell you, and I know you're going to agree with it because it's what God told me, what He wants, what comes out of my mouth today. We're not going to talk so much about the whole complete military operation, and you repeat yourself for the 10,000th time, because we're in the time now where we have to really get prepared and let people know how they're going to start to suffer if they're not yet awake and how to best prepare. Today, I want to speak to the people that kind of are awakened, know what's coming, and know what Donald Trump told us that has yet to happen is going to start to happen. And how do we take care of our people and the people when they awaken, right? Hopefully soon, because God's wrath is coming. And I just want everyone to be prepared for what's coming, because it's clearly laid out in the military operation, the laws and orders, the documents, the law of war manual, and I have your links under here. We're gonna do a final edit of this, right? Because I'm gonna launch the final edit on the Grassroots Warrior Network. That's why I wanted to interview you today. But that's what I want to talk about, Derek. I'm just going to open my mouth and let God speak, but I want to let people know, and I want to get your opinion of what you think the upcoming scenes are in the movie. I want to talk about that mostly today. Now, I want to let you touch on anything about documents or something you feel necessary to say. I want you to do that now, and then I want to just jump into the totally unprepared show that's been prepared by God, and I'm honoring you with this, but I have to put my hat on, okay? Okay. Jesus and justice for all. That's my design, brother. We'll get to your merch later and all your links, but I'm going to put you on screen right now. I want you to tell people what you want to tell them, and then I'm going to come back in and I want to talk about how do we best prepare for what is factually coming. The collapse of the financial system, the complete draining of the corrupt and maritime and corrupt system, justice system from the top down. We already know that. We know that that was owned by the crown, the fake courts, the gold fringe bullshit, the Federal Reserve. It's all gone, right? And we know that all of this beautiful new stuff is coming in. That's why I get pissed off when people are asleep, because nothing is bad about what we're talking about. It changes the world to like bliss and euphoria. It's coming, and these people are battling it. Anyway, I got to shut up for a minute. Take the stage, talk about what you want to talk about. Then I want to get into this, brother. Take it away.
Well, I mean, it's true. I mean, you look at I've always joked about, and it's like I try to bring up humor and I try to bring up common sense with it, though, is the fact that so many people, if you just have a daily conversation with someone, they'll always have a joke about a career politician. We can always joke about a politician, right? But then when you try to go into the great detail of how we clean out that system and how it is a system, it's an infrastructure. It was man made, it was man created, and it's no different than building a building, and then starting a company, and then that company gets super big, and all of a sudden, there's people in the board that's doing this and this, that, and other. Well, there's a way to clean that out. It's no different, and that's why it is so cool in a different way. It's not cool that we became a federal corporation, but it's cool to be able to say, hey, look, this is how a company operates. All right, the United States of America became a corporation. All right, it's got all these bad players in there, and they set this thing up to where it was their own checks and balances of what they deemed was their playing field, and we were the pawns up under it, right? And they pinned us against each other via race, religion, politics, and patriotism. All right, and nobody benefited from it on our sides, left or the right, but them. All right. So it's like if people can just take that general concept and go, okay, look, I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm not telling you what to do behind your doors. I'm not telling you what you can and can't drink, what you can and can't smoke, what you can and can't like, and who you can and can't like. And I'm not saying that. And that's what my thing is that there's a way to live and let live. There's always a way to live and let live. But it's like Mark Levine says all the time when he's one of the good ones out there, even though he kind of has to surface talk. But at least this quote is true. Whether he is or isn't, whatever, don't matter. The quote says, "I'm tired of hearing people talk about we're a nation of immigrants." All right, we are a nation of immigrants, but we're a nation of immigrants that became citizens, right? And they became it for the right reasons. They didn't realize what they were getting into, but at least the heart was right for those immigrants that came here, right? They came to buy into a foundation of our nation that our founders established. And I tell people all the time, America it's an idea on a piece of paper in the Smithsonian. It don't govern itself. We do. All right, so it's real simple, yet we make it complicated. Like my grandpa always talks about the Bible. He talked about the Bible, said it's real simple, but we make life complicated. We we entertain the devil. We entertain thoughts. We entertain negativity. We entertain drama. When at the end of the day, if you just sat your happy butt on your couch and didn't move, the world's still spinning. You know, so many people need to apply just a little bit of common sense there. It's an infrastructure. All right, it got out of hand. It got way out of hand. It got way out of whack. But you either keep whining about it, keep complaining about it, or you want to do something about it. I'd rather be a doer. I'd rather know at the end of the day, if I do stand in front, whatever God looks like, whatever that image is, when I stand there, I wanna hear him say, man, you did everything you could. Sure, you made it. You had a few bumps along the way, but you did everything. You gave it all you had. I don't want to stand in front of God and God say, you could have done more. Yeah, you look back here, play your life of your real, however that judgment day is. I don't want it to go, well, you could have done more here. You could have done more there. You could have done more here. Look what you did here. You were negative here. Look how drama filled you were here. Look at all the stuff you bought in here. You know, at least of someone like me who gives you receipts, right? I'm not saying all the government's perfect. I'm not saying all laws back the Constitution, support the Constitution, or orders the same thing as Marbury versus Madison talks about, 1803. I mean, here was a founding father having to go into a Supreme Court into 14 years after the Constitution and define what a law looked like. So how bad do you think it's going to look 230 plus years removed from the Constitution? And no one wants to think about that. Everybody wants to whine, gripe, complain, fuss, moan, debate, and argue. I saw an email today. Oh, you need to debate this guy. Da 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 da. I don't need to do anything. They need to go read. All right. Law and order only works for good people, right? The people who want to read and do good, right? The ones that don't want to do it, they ain't up for debate for nothing. They're already not willing to do. They're not willing to abide by the laws and orders that are there. So
You
if
know who
people
that guy has to debate? That guy has to debate God.
That's right. And that's it. And
And
that's
you
what
know
I
what I
tell
have to
people.
say to him? I have this to say to him.
Well, what I have to do is this, though. It's like, I give you receipts. You ain't got to like them. You ain't got to like what I'm saying. You ain't got to like the receipts. You ain't got to like this law, that law. But I'm showing you what's going on out there. And here's the receipt of it, right?
That's what you did, and that's why we don't really have to talk about that today. Today,
Well, no,
I mean,
yeah, no. I get it. But
whoever, but no, I wanted to give you that. So it's just a great segue here. So what we know is coming from many reasons, mainly because the global military operation that continues to this day. I have two theories. I'm going to give my theory or two, and then I want to see what your theory is. Well, first of all, people can't comprehend that this is actually happening because they think that they would know about it. Why don't we know it when we would know about it? We would know about it. No, because Commander in Chief Trump told you when he was actually serving as president, no longer will we announce as a nation what we're doing militarily. So the plan went on. And if you were awake enough to understand and listen to the man, listen to one of the most intelligent men on the planet. You know, I know Orange Man bad, fake news, mainstream media turned everyone's brains into applesauce, and they think he's a dumb fuck because they edit the thing out and they make, they make him look like an idiot. One of the smartest men on the planet. He's the president of the United States. He didn't get there because he's an idiot. Number one, just trying to still help with Sheepnesia any moment I can, Derek, because I'm Dr. Tenner, SMD, social media doctor. I forgot my sheeposcope, but I'm sorry. But anyway, so the man's so smart, he tells us everything. He tells us everything. And so we can't know what's going on militarily, but they gave you the clues. And here you are because it's time. It's time. We really have a few weeks where people have the opportunity to wake up or they're going to get their teeth knocked out by God because God's coming at the end to clean the whole thing up because people have to be brought to their knees. The perfect day is coming and people are either going to survive and make it or they're perishing unfortunately if they don't get the memo. If God says it's time to go, if you didn't get the memo, you're going to go. So there's still a chance. And that's what I want to talk about what's coming. So we can't know, but now's the time to wake up because you've been perfectly no one on the planet. When I first met you on the Truth Tour, when we met, I told you you were dropped out of the heavens by God to complete this task of people that want to comprehend it and wake up. They don't have much longer, and you're not going to have to do it much longer because you either get it or you don't. This guy's taking care of the rest. So we can't know what's going on. But now, as this gets crazier and crazier and crazier, even the people that have sheepnesia, they know this planet, it looks like a psych ward. Like they're on board with this guy, shitting his pants, walking around. I mean, they make the movie actually funny. They make the movie actually funny
They
to
do.
even help you that it's a bad television show. It's not even a good television show for you to say this is an awful production. Like they can't slap us in the face anymore now. Now's the time to see it. And it's someone I love so much that I stay in touch with because I know that I'm going to have to save her life. God told me I have to save her life when she really, gets mowed over. Um, she can't see it. She can't see. Even her aunt lost money in the banking system in the Silicon Bank, and she still won't listen to me say, get your money out of the bank, invest in precious metals. There's a reason silver's been suppressed for 100 years, or since they murdered Kennedy, since the CIA murdered Kennedy, because we were going back to gold and silver, right? It's history. But we're crazy when we talk about it, right? We're crazy when we talk about it. It's like I go nuts, bro. So the movie's getting crazier and crazier and crazier. These people have to know, because she's getting a little nuts. I
I mean,
know that my belief
it
system
wasn't
is
that long ago either. We're talking about 1968 that we left the gold standard at.
right.
It's not that far back. Like, it's not like we're talking about some freaking 1700 or 1600 lost the gold in a shipwreck somewhere. We're talking about 1968. I mean, come on. It's not that far back.
So history was here, right? Now before they printed, right? Before the printing presses started with the fake Federal Reserve, right? And they started printing this useless shit that tells you on it that it's useless, that has the pyramids on there with the all-seeing eye. I mean, I didn't print the money yesterday to tell you about the eye. I mean, Derek, what the
No, no.
F is going on? So this money is disappearing. Before this money, right? There was
That's right.
We operated on real money. Did we make that up? I mean, I'm sorry they burned the history books and shit, but you could still go find out
You
that
can look up a word called barter. We have
before they
barter.
fired up the printing presses, before this useless shit that's disappearing, any month now, and you're going bankrupt if you don't wake the F up. We dealt with real money, the barter system, like you said, get some tomatoes from your neighbor. We're going back to that. It's beautiful. We're going to have to converse. We're not going to be on this all the time, right? We're going to
That's
be
right.
loving and helping each other. I can't wait, Derek, and I know what's coming, and I'm so excited. I just want to wake everyone up so they can get excited, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same feeling. I mean, once again, what people can't fathom is why we're so passionate about it. One, they can't seem to convert either. Not that, but also they can't convert. How is it that we're so passionate with the fact that we're not making anything off of it,
Right,
right? That's the other thing. And it's like I try to tell people, I'm like, do you realize in the 80s? So let's get even closer. Not
right,
that I was born in the 80s, right? Let's do this. All right, in the 80s, 85% of America were farmers, right? And that number is just about flipped now. And then the farmers that are out there, the corporate farmers that are there, they have to abide by certain quote unquote, what they abided by. They let the government start telling them what to do, what to put on their, in pesticides and things of that nature that had starting to hurt people, right? Same thing with tobacco. Like my dad said, if you try to straight up smoke regular tobacco without any kind of pesticide on it, you're going to have a hard day because regular real tobacco is pretty tough, right? So, but all this stuff they put on there now that, what's it say on those cigarette packages? Oh, I'm likely to do this, right? Because it's a
right.
pesticides. It's not tobacco. It's not the tobacco plant, right? So people, just that little concept right there. 85% of America, and they live more like a community style. And now today, if you live community style, oh, you're not successful because you have to rely on your family to bring you food at the end of the day. It's the BS that they've put in people's minds, and that psychological mindset that you're not successful. It's all based on success. It's all based on that little dollar right there. about a control. That is nothing but a control tactic. All that is, right? Oh, well, you don't live in this and you don't live in that, and you live in this and you can't be an expert in this because you live in that. Like, get out of here. It's like, oh, my brain has a limit on it because I drive this, and my brain has a limit on it because I live in this. They ain't got nothing. Look at Einstein. Look at some of the most brilliant men I've ever met in my life didn't have much, but they didn't care. They didn't care about that because they were happy where they were, right? They were content,
And they
right?
had this guy also.
And
That's
they
why.
had that's most everyone I knew, absolutely right. They had that
Yeah.
foundation there because it ain't about that. If you, I tell people, the people who don't believe in God, you're empty for a reason. All right, there's your main reason why you're empty. If you do believe in God and you're not practicing His word, then I don't know what you're doing, because the word says polar opposite of what most Christians live like. Now, that
Right.
ain't me judging, because it's a hard enough day for me to have to read the Bible and apply it to myself. So, but a lot of Christians are guilty of this right here, that lip service Christian, right? Lip service. They want to look at you, judge you. They want to judge you based off something, this, that, and other. I, that's what God, Jesus Christ, if he's back on earth again, he ain't going to be hanging out with people who's Christians and who's patriots. He's going to be hanging out with people who's in the alleys and the streets and things like that. So that's what we have to apply to people out there, is that, look, I've come up with a new slogan. Look in your mirror before you look out your window, right? Make sure make sure what the Bible says. Make sure there's not a speck in your eye before you try to pet one out of your brother's eye. The Bible says that. It does say that. And iron sharpens iron. We're supposed to help each other. We're not supposed to put each other down. Now, you might need a little kick in the butt every now and then. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, my dad's had to do it to me in my lifetime. All right, now we done been through this before. How many times we got to do this, right? He's helped me before. When I lived in Nashville, he's like, all right, now how many times we gotta go through this? Maybe God don't want you here. Maybe this. Maybe you need to go do this in your life. Maybe we've all had to have in the military. At least once a day, somebody gets their butt chewed out for something, right? It don't hurt every now and then to get a little kick in the butt, little flame under your rear end, right? And so many people have lost that. And just like with me and you, we met on the True Tour, right? And it was, oh man, you saw it. There was people. Oh, why are you doing? What are you going on this show for? What are you doing on here? Blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And I'm like, people are people. Audience. God knows who's doing what for right reasons. He
Right.
knows, right?
Right.
He knows. He knows our hearts, because he judges off our heart. He don't judge off anything else but our heart.
And a shout out to Lewis for that, because even Lewis would know, and he would say, I don't agree with everyone. Everyone's kind of running their own agenda. I'm giving a platform. You resonated with it, what you not. God knows what people are doing. People have fallen off. Only few remain, right? So, it is what it is. You're either going to resonate with people or we're not. And we're here today, I think, because we are going across the finish line. I don't want it to sound like ego at all. And, and I have to say, I got my ass kicked by Christ came to visit me on my birthday, September 10th, 2021. I was a sinner, man. I was a heathen. I asked for God. I was at a low in my life. I have videos, I could tell that story, but I want people to know, I quit drinking, I quit all nefarious things, womenizing, I mean, everything. God saved my life, but I asked for him at some point. I said, I can't do this anymore. And I've done some shows recently where that's what I believe at the end of the day. Whoever's not awakened at the time, the upcoming scenes in this movie are going to be bringing people to their knees at different times. And the perfect day is coming when God says, I've had enough. That day was written billions of years ago. God only knows that day. And I don't think it's before the end of this year. I think it's at harvest time, which is in the fall at the latest, right? We've been talking about these dates for years and years, and the hunt for Red October and harvesting. But you got to know at this point in the movie and this point of the military operation, and they tell you it ends in April of 24, right? The military operation is right there, right? With the updated EOs from Commander-in-Chief Trump, who's not in office, but it was just updated last month, from his original orders. I mean, you made that up, Derek, right? I mean, you went and
I hacked the system.
and
Yes.
infiltrated the military's websites, right? And
Yes, I
you
hacked it.
went back in time and rewrote the law of war manual, right? You
It's
did that
me.
because
It
you're
was
fucking
me.
corrupt, right? You did that, right? This is what this looks like. This is what this looks like. This is what's coming. This guy's coming, and you're going to ask for him. He's not coming until you ask for him, like I did. There's a come to Jesus moment. We're all going to be brought to our knees. Even we might be brought to our knees again. And these are the upcoming scenes. What's missing? 60,000 pounds of the shit that they used to blow up the Oklahoma City. These are the scenes in the movie. So I want to calm everyone down. When you see on the TV screen that, you know, 1 million people or 10,000 people died with an explosion, I don't believe it's actually happening anymore, Derek, because the whole movie is CGI or the actors of the corrupt swamp that made their deals. Most of them we know have already been executed. They're waiting their execution. They made a deal. If you see a real person, if you actually can figure out if it's really them or not, they were either one of the very few good people, right? Very few good people, or they made the deal that when the movie's over, they get to live out their life in prison without being hung or firing squad. This is all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes because everything's a movie. They took over the news, they took over the government, everything. Everything has been controlled by the military. Twitter's been controlled by the military. I don't know if Elon Musk at the end of the day winds up as a good guy, if he's still alive or not. The military's been running Twitter. The military still runs Facebook. The military's putting the movie on in the news. And what planet, in this stage of the game, on what planet would CNN, if we were in real time and this wasn't a movie, how, they would never bring Trump on CNN for a town hall. We run the movie. Derek, I want to get on the writing team for the final season because you know I was in a little bit of show business, right? I would be great at helping to write this comedy. What's going on, bro? I'm so
Man, I
fired
don't.
up.
I mean, I love yeah. The only the only thing I'm good at hacking is a Snickers bar. Let me go ahead and tell you right now. Like that's what's funny to me. It's like I love the fact that someone that was one of the comments in the comment box a while back said either Derek Johnson hacked all these sites, all these .gov and .mil, and he wrote all of this stuff, right? And I keep changing the code on these guys where they can't get back in their system, right? So you'd have to do that too. Not only would you have to be able to hack it, you'd have to be able to keep all of them out too from rewriting it back or changing it back, right? So you'd have to take that one step further, right? And I'd have to have like this massive, compound somewhere they don't know about with a system, right? That's what would have to happen. Or it's all there, right? Or it's all there. Like it's all there by the military because the military gives you receipts. And then also, we have our jokes with the Marine Corps and the Navy and the Coast Guard. We all have our jokes with each other, and that's fine. We pick on each other. So, Marine Corps buddy not long ago and an Air Force buddy said, "Well, I don't know. I might see the Army doing something like that." But all jokes aside,
Yeah.
no, and I'm not bringing highlight to trolls. I kind of like doing this in another way. It shows people, okay, so you can get on YouTube and you can go all the way back to JFK, right? And you can see footage of inauguration services with 4 cannons. It's 4 cannons. That's what the Army did. That's what they deemed for presidential. I don't know why they did it. I don't know what the significance is with 4 as far as like what they were thinking years ago when they said, you know what? We're going to do 4 cannons. It's going to be 4 cannons for inauguration services. And it's going to be the United States Army who does it because it's the first branch, first established branch. All right. And then we're going to make presidential funeral services 3 cannons. I don't know what they were thinking back then and I don't know what that scene looked
No,
like.
wait a minute. You and I didn't change that law when we did the videos in Florida. We didn't change that when we did the video in Florida to lie to people.
Yeah, you and I weren't those time travelers. I don't know who it is, but it wasn't me and you. No.
Okay. Because I forgot. I forgot because everyone tells me I'm full of shit.
No, I'm just a hacker. I'm just a hacker. Yeah. No.
So by the way, our videos the one that got us on Santa Surfing, the two quick. Remember, I told you we gotta. You can talk the whole law award manual and quote. I said we gotta just show visuals of what you. Thank you. Good segue. I said, Derek, we're doing 2 short videos. Don't do your auctioneer of truth bombs. You know, you're gonna make people throw up. They're gonna get sick. We gotta make it simple for them because it's very complicated when you got this. So because I love people and I want to cure them. Our videos they're snippets. They're really making the rounds all over TikTok. Those videos, you got to share them, bro. I got to send them to you. They have the visuals. Remember I broke it down. I showed the visuals of the funeral. Biden got the funeral. The 3 cannons, 2 for firing, 1 for misfiring. How do I say that? Because I learned from Derek Johnson, the hacker. 2 for firing, 1 for misfire. 3 throughout all of history. That's for a funeral.
3-piece volley. Like once again, I'm not an artillery guy by trade, but I know what they look like. So it's called a 3-volley salute. It's not to be confused with a 21 gun salute. And you'll read that when you see this article here. But 3-volley salute, 3 pieces of artillery, 2 for fire and 1 for misfire. All right, so that's what Joe Biden received. And so what you were witnessing on January 20th, 2021, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. received a full-grade military funeral service.
For a presidential funeral. 4, we broke down the visuals. Trump went to Joint Andrews. There's clearly more than 3 cannons. They're blowing them off. They cut the live feed. You can hear, ironically, 17 booms. And then if you know how to do math, if you went to kindergarten, you can time it and notice that it would have been a few more, which would have made 21, a 21 gun salute. We did the visuals in the video. You got to share them. God wanted this meeting today because we have to reshare those very simple Sheepnesia curing videos that are showing what factually happened on planet Earth in the real world.
In the real time.
Film it.
Real time.
Joint Andrews when President Trump flew out, right? The difference in that video, we're going to show that he got.
Well, I call it constitutional bylaw and full-grade military regulation inauguration service or ceremony. That's what President Trump received.
Real time. Yeah, and by the way, I just want you to know that my other program I run is C-SPAN. Just letting you know.
Oh, that's right. You ran C-SPAN. That's right. So did you direct the movie when the only real clips of the military had their backs turned to him?
C-SPAN. That was C-SPAN and CBS. I did get control of CBS and NBC that day too.
I think I saw you on the side of the road screaming action, and they all.
I didn't know who knew. I didn't know. You know, I didn't know if NBC or ABC or any of those would be big enough for people to know. So I just went with 1776 Nation original. But yeah, C-SPAN, CBS, NBC, they're all my networks too.
The motorcade ride down, those soldiers were real. Not a single one saluted that motorcade because he's not legitimate president. He's not president. He's not commander in chief. There's 2 things rather that a soldier will always do. We'll always salute the president because that's in our oath. I will obey the orders of the president and officers appointed over me. We'll always salute the president. We'll always salute a moving flag. That did not happen.
Yeah.
Which brings me to, I must have hacked, I think it was CBS or ABC. Derek, we got to start sharing these videos. I did 4 days after the fake inauguration. I had already done a video showing trees and no trees. It's amazing.
Now it's gone. Okay? You want to do it one more time? I'm going to do it one more time. 2 trees. Now they're gone. 2 trees with no leaves in the fence. Now they're gone. Okay, now I'm gonna show you the live footage. I swear to God that I did not doctor this footage.
I thought I hired you to cut those trees down.
I didn't have enough time, bro, and I couldn't get there in time, so I had to hack into ABC, and I tried. I couldn't get out in time. Sorry, I couldn't do it.
Well, you know, no one paid attention. I mean, tree, no tree. They didn't see it. They didn't see that tree go missing.
I was in touch with wardrobe that day too, and I forgot to ask Jill Biden to change her shoes. I forgot the color was purple or red or something. I forgot to tell her to I forgot to talk to wardrobe to bring the color shoes that she wore in the studio when we
Well, I
pre-filmed.
have to tell you what, though. Thank you for giving all those Army surplus stores so much business, though. I just have to tell you, they had on so many different color uniforms that every year of the military, all the way back to the '80s, got recognized in one soldier. So just thanks for doing
Derek,
that too. That I mean, most veterans own surplus stores, so someone got the benefit from that by all these soldiers going in there and buying all the surplus up. So great
you know what makes
contribution
me
to
sad?
society.
You know what makes me sad, honestly, when I hear you talking about like so frustrated that I mean, there's people currently in the military that don't know. I mean, I wasn't in the military; I was in law enforcement, right? Are there actually people in the military that don't know what regulation uniforms look like? And because it's kind of embarrassing, I'm like, I feel so sad for people, former military, and then even current military, that they would come attack you before they would actually. There's got to be like photos or a book or something, like, because you have to know how to get dressed, right? Like they teach you how to get dressed and what uniform to put on when you're like.
No, they just say here's a signing bonus. It won't ever affect your bank account. You won't ever actually see that. But here's a
Oh,
signing bonus. No, there's no regulation handbooks. There's no law war manual. There's no such thing. It's just everybody just come in if you want to come in here. You got money. You got a place to sleep. You get yelled at a few times, but yeah, no, there's nothing like that. There's no Department of Defense regulation handbook. There's no branch regulations handbook. There's nothing like that.
so
It's just
I'm getting my medical, and a theory that I used to have a long time ago, but I never really said it publicly, is I thought there was a percentage. I would never guess, but I would always say, because I knew people actually that went into the military and they were real shitheads. They didn't have any other options. Now let's be very clear. I'm not talking about you. You know who you are. So if you get triggered by my statement, then you were that person. And you're currently that person that Derek's talking about that just went for medical, or you had nothing left because you screwed everything else up on the outside. Your option may have been jail, rehabilitation, and you decided to go into the military. I believe those could be the only people, Derek. I truly believe those are the ones. It could only be that could be arguing against what you want, because they're obviously have problems and they haven't sought this guy out yet. Because real military people that went into the military to defend their country and didn't care about a dental plan couldn't possibly be attacking you, or people like me and the truthers. Those people could never possibly, I couldn't fathom it. It has to be the other ones that went there, to get a free physical and maybe some clean underwear and shit. I don't know. What do you think?
that's Yeah, and so now we have to say, hey, we've actually been cutting up here because some people take this serious. I even had posted not long ago a post about the National Guard flying from Georgia all the way up in Ohio, and I said because Ohio doesn't have their own National Guard, and I got a couple emails out there. Ohio has a National Guard. I'm like, can't even use humor, right? Well, anyway, where it gets serious, this is where it does get serious. It's for the fact that my original rant that actually went viral, it talked about President Trump being commander in chief briefly. I didn't go into a full rant on that. My actual rant was actually me being mad and angry because so many veterans cannot see that. And
Right.
we have so many soldiers who are in memorial graves right now, in memorial graves, right? They gave their life under that same military law. And I have more people email me, more captains and up. I mean, I had a Chief Warrant Officer 3 coming up to me at the Reawakening tour 2 weeks ago and say, you keep doing what you're doing. I have to correct some generals and admirals. I mean, this is Chief Warrant Officer 3. All right. Now, what people need to understand when they hear military, when we say military's in control, you got to quit thinking about your cousin or your nephew who's a private first class at Fort Benning, Georgia, or something like that. We're talking about the generals. We're talking
Right.
about the actual military, right? The guys from the top down. Military is a chain of command. It works from the top down. It don't work from your nephew or your grandson or whomever, not knocking them, but it don't work that
Right.
way. It works from the top down. So that's where I do get serious. Just like, there's a lot of people out there trying to build their platforms by knocking and tearing people down, right? So they want to come after me because they want to see how much I can take without using it. Well, they want to see if I'll ever give their name, because negative publicity is publicity. So I
Right.
don't tear people down. But where I do get mad is when you get a soldier and some show out there brings a soldier on in uniform. In uniform, that's where I draw my line. It's like, okay, you're in uniform, you're supposed to be active duty. There is a Department of Defense regulation handbook for uniforms. There is a branch regulation, all branches. There's now because we're in a society of technology, there's a social media handbook for branches out there. And then there's bases. Bases have their own uniform regulation, what you can and can't do with politics. All right. And there's a soldier out there, and I never say his name, but this dude is trying to pump a secondary career, and it's really creepy and weird that he's trying to be a producer and a songwriter and something in the music. It's real creepy that the dude's from Alabama claims to be. It's just real creepy. It's almost like President Trump. I'm like President Trump. Stalker, maybe? Yeah. You know.
Is it possible?
Well, a little possible.
Is it possible
But I'm
that,
like, you're in a
fake?
freaking uniform. You're in a freaking uniform. That's stolen. That is actual stolen valor in a different kind of way, active duty or not, because DOD handbook says specifically, if you look like you're representing your branch and you're speaking on behalf of your branch of what your branch is doing in operations while we're currently in a wartime operation,
Right.
you're in complete violation. You can be court-martialed for that. So if you're actually some soldier who has a good heart, but you don't know actual military laws and you don't know federal laws, and you're actually a good soldier, you just don't know that, you're risking all your career for not knowing something that is actually happening, because you wouldn't be speaking on behalf of any branch whatsoever. And we have like videos for recruitment, right? Okay, this is what air and missile defense does. This is what infantry does. They already have that. They don't need that. And if you're not a recruiter, you wouldn't be using that in the first place. So getting on TikTok, especially TikTok, has been banned by the government and universities out there. If liberal universities are banning their staff from being on TikTok, why in the hell do we have a soldier supposed to be in uniform, supposed to be active duty, on TikTok talking about what the branch that they're serving under, supposedly serving under, does? That's where people have to go, okay, military. You should want someone. You should want someone in the military. You should want someone who upholds the laws and orders, right? Anybody should want that. And
But
here's
Derek,
the receipt. You know,
I believe it's part of the movie, because I mean, what would happen in reality, in the real world, with a soldier that's clearly in like horrible violation of anything? His ass would be gone or court-martialed or something. So, and we own TikTok too. We own everything. It's a global operation. When I talk Brooklyn talk with the executive orders, the one that I remembered was basically before the election. It was basically like, if you F with our election in any way, shape, or form, foreign or domestic, we're going to own all of your shit. So that's how we own everything. We own everything, foreign and domestic, because all of these sick people, all of these cabal, all of these devil worshippers, they all did everything. It was like the kitchen sink opened the hydrants to try to steal this election. That's why that's why those planes fly around that you show every day globally with National Guard out of their states, with Israel and Egypt and Saudi Arabia flying around in the United States. It's beautiful. I love what.
well, I'll tell you something that goes back to your point a while ago, though. My cousin said this, but he heard a preacher say this, and it's somewhere in Oklahoma. I have a ton of family in Oklahoma, and this is my relative's a preacher, but he heard another elder preacher say this. Said that if God doesn't answer for what's taking place in the world right now that we've seen and known it, he'll have to apologize to Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, that is as strong as I've ever heard in my life.
Wow.
And for people out there, getting back to the serious note for what we're talking about, people, what they're about to see, God gave us free will. He gives us free will every day. And I'm tired of hearing people say in a different way. Now, I get it when it's someone I know, and I get that if I know their heart, and I know that you're a worker, you're a steward, like you're doing your deed to society. You're planting that seed. You're trying to grow that crop. You're trying to bring people over to God and Christ. I get it. But for the ones that don't, there's so many people out there when they say God wins. Well, that's like saying ice cream is cold, right? Or boots are made for feet, right? Because we know God wins. But some of these people out there are just saying God wins, and that's a lazy form of not doing work, right? They want a miracle shot or they want a miracle cure for evil. There's not, except for God.
Right.
There's no way to completely eliminate evil except for God, right? Because only God can. Look at what we are under. Look at the operation going on. I mean, that many men and women on one accord. Bear Bryant used to be a famous coach at University of Alabama, and he coached at Texas A&M. But there was a movie put out called The Junction Boys, right? And Bear Bryant, he had this saying. He had to break all those players down, just like they do when they take us through basic training. They break us all down as individuals, and they bring us up as a team. Well, Bear Bryant put those dudes through pure earth hell, right? But even though it was just football, this was in the 50s, and even though it was just football, still the fact that he said, hey, when he took them through it, the ones that quit, but the ones that stayed there and they did so much routine and so much practice, when they were fluent with their formation, he said, now we're one heartbeat. We have one heartbeat. Right. 11 men with one heartbeat on the field at one time. And that's how he won 6 national championships, set the record at that time period, right? So when people apply all these men and women around the world, there's only one person who could do that, God. All right. And people have to understand that Donald Trump, just because someone's famous, and I don't even like looking at myself as popular or famous, I don't like those words. But when you're popular and you're known, just because we're popular and known, you're still judging. If you judge me and my character and you don't know anything about me, you're still judging. It has nothing to do with status. That has nothing to do with status. I live, breathe, eat. I do the three S's that the military talks about. I shower, shave, and the other.
Yeah, I say it for you.
So it's like I have a life too. We all have lives. We're no better than each other from that standpoint. We do have platforms because God gives them to us now. We have things that communicate with people, and God gave certain people gifts to communicate to help others with. But at the end of the day, if you judge Donald Trump, if you judge Steve Tenner, if you judge me or anybody for that matter that has it's still judgment in God's eyes. And see, that's what people have to apply, and they're not applying that right now.
Well, you gave me a segue because you said one heartbeat, and something happened late on. It's not the normal, because I want you to hear about this, and people need to hear about this. So, but before, your documents, and I'm showing it right there. It's the documents.info, and I'll make sure all the complete links. I think I have them under here anyway. Your Facebook, your Rattle Trap, your Telegram. But there's Derek. We'll show that again. I wasn't able to get my dad back to the home. So I want to let people know what's going on. Part of the draining of the swamp, right, of the cabal and this global operation. One of the things is with the Fauci and the pandemic, everybody's going to learn everything. Everyone's going to learn the depopulation and stuff. So when I got back home in February, Derek, you don't know this, I came home. Someone kind of helped me out with frequency healing. And I've been working with my dad. I happen to have him here. I want you to say hello to him. I got a hotel for the day because I was cleaning his ears. This is my pops. You want to say hello to Derek and thank him?
Hi, Derek. Thank you for working with my son.
So
my honor to do so. Good to meet you.
So I've been working with him and getting him off he's been on medications for a very, very, very long time, and he's in a facility. And I've been working with him almost 2 months now. And I just want everyone to know this is so important because we have to take control of our lives. They've been slowly murdering us with the petroleum-based pharmaceuticals. That's for another day. We'll talk about it. But I want to give you some facts about my dad. He just turned 88 a couple of days ago, and I missed his birthday because my car broke down. So I took him out today. We're going to go hang out tomorrow. But I had him in the room. Was cleaning his ears. I'm working with him and everything like that. And I said, I don't have time to bring you back because I have the show with Derek. Just hang out. You get to say hello. I got my dad off of like 500 milligrams of gabapentin pain medication that he's been on for at least a decade. I got him off both of his diabetes medications, and his sugar is okay. And I've been treating him along the way with the frequency. This is technology. There's thousands of technologies that have been kept from us. Natural remedies, frequency, the quantum field, the God field. This device is helping us tap into that. I think God wanted me to come home, and I'm helping the rest of my family too. My sister's had asthma for over 60 years. She hasn't taken her meds in like 2 months, very rarely. She's on her nebulizer, sucking her thing. So God had me come home, and we have to heal. And we've had our cures, the cures to diseases, natural remedies. They've been slowly killing us, Derek. And that's another part. You know what's going on with the children, the whole thing. The whole world has to learn how they tried to murder us, basically. The cabal, these Satan worshipers. And I got this whole story to share soon with my father, off of the diabetes, off of 2 pain medications, off of his blood thinner, 4 days now. And when I bring him back to the home, I'm denying 2 of his heart medications that have been slowing his heart down, because his legs have been swollen for like over a decade, and there's nothing that could be done to do it. But when they're slowing your heart rate down, how can your heart pump your... Anyway, I can go on for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring that in because I want people to hear it's not just about a show. It's not just about having fun, talking about we need to wake people up, because the whole planet is about to change
But
for the better. The
and
whole,
that's awesome.
the whole,
That's awesome. But we need to. I want to make sure I say this too, because everybody needs to hear this. First off, hello, Dad, again, and you know, it's we had fun on the True Tour. It was cool to meet you. I think we met in Indiana or Illinois first. I get the states mixed up where we
Indiana.
were.
You guys rolled up.
Indiana,
I was
right?
sleeping in the parking lot in the Mystery Machine.
So this is a key thing though, and I had to do this at the Reawakening tour when I went to Media Room. There was one person in particular, I won't say their name. They were they had voted for President Trump both times, but had got mad about the jab. And I said, I got to do this because I have receipts, right? I know where the receipts are. I can tell you where to go find them. All right. And people need to hear this. Military is separate. It's why I get upset about military and people talking about military and they don't know anything about military. Now, you don't have to be a veteran to know about the military. You don't have to, none of that. You don't have to know that. But the military, we have our own facilities. We're having own medical facilities and things of that nature. But the military wants people to know what the heck's going on. That's why every now and then a colonel or so-and-so would stop by and go, hey, who's the Secretary of Defense? Or, hey, who's the Vice President? Little things like that. They want you to know. They want soldiers to know that. It's like they don't have time to sit there and teach you your history. Don't have time to do that, right, when you come into as they say, this man's military, right? But you have to educate yourself, right? Is the thing. Well, we have our own medical facilities. So all these people out there say, my son had to get out of the military because they wouldn't take the jab. No, your son got out of the military because your son didn't know anything about regulations. Your son didn't know anything about what was going on. And they want people to know what's going on. President Trump said they will be vindicated. Because why? Everybody's going to get a history lesson from the 1776 report, which was the 1776 commission, which was one of his executive orders. He said any school out there, talking about on the civilian side, he said any school that does not adhere to this, we're going to remove their funding until they teach our foundation again. Same thing with the military. Military members will know our foundation when this is all said and done, when we're going through this transition, when we're doing the clean out process and we're moving forward in the future. We have our own medical facilities. Donald John Trump, when he became a wartime president in March 2020, that was a direct order when he gave a direct order to 1 million soldiers to federalize them, the National Guard to active duty. That was a direct. He put it in an executive order. That was March 27th, 2020. 3 days later, he's standing in a press conference. Now, you always have to take yourself back to where we were then. In March 2020, no one really knew what COVID was. No one knew what it meant. No one knew that word. The very first time he ever mentioned it to the public was February the 4th, 2020 on the State of the Union address. All right. And no one really knew about it. March was when it kind of amped up a little bit. And I remember very well because we wrote my second Billboard hit in March 2020, which was, and we were still kind of, and I had some buddies. I'm not knocking them. But I had a buddy, they were real paranoid when all this struck up. And it was one of the writers, right? They were paranoid. And, so I remember that very, 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 very clear. All right. So March 27th, federalized National Guard activity, put in Executive Order 13912, which is the one that's been extended out to March 2024. And then 3 days later, press conference. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot take a video. Now, there's people in history that'll say one thing, and then a year, 2, 10 years later, they'll turn around and say something else. But once it's time stamped and it's visual and it's time stamped, unless Derek Johnson, the hacker, gets in there and completely removes it from everything.
We know what
all
you do.
the servers out there, unless I put my Snickers bar down and I get over there and I hack this, the hacker here, right? And I just completely remove it. It's there, and the press conference is there in the Trump archives. You know the little thing he's always talking about, NARA? Oh, the National Archives. Oh, yeah, that thing, right? And that Presidential Records Act, that thing. Right, all those that I had, then I wrote. Like I said, I wrote it all.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, exactly. So all those things, right? March 30th. What did Donald John Trump say in press conference? He said we've administered to our government. First, he said we've administered 30 million with one pharmaceutical, another 6 million with another, 36 million doses on March the 30th. Up to that point of hydroxychloroquine and 1 million of chloroquine. He told everybody right there the jab he was supporting, that was Donald Trump's jab. It was not all of the FDA, the CDC, and the NIH and what they did with their pharmaceuticals.
Can I pause you there for a second?
Oh, yeah.
People need to understand this. So this is so important because people can't comprehend why Donald Trump touted warp speed and why he never told people, get the shot. Just you have to and you must, like you watched in the movie. And I just released an incredible video with everyone saying, you got to get the shot. It's going to protect you. And then it kept changing, right? Because then everyone got the shot. And then they showed the scenes in the movie that the president got COVID after his first, second, third booster. Everyone's getting COVID. It's a comedy, Derek. I love it. When you see it, you can't unsee it. It's brilliant. But at any rate, why did Donald Trump push the vaccine? Because there was no way to stop the evil machine that was probably a decade or more in the making of them poisoning everyone with snake venom, of one of the many poisons that they put in our water while they had us on lockdown, because that's the only way the government can get into your house, through your water system. So there was snake venom in that. I know I'm batshit crazy. You'll be back. And it was one of the ingredients and it all makes sense. Everyone should watch the water and watch the water too, because they tried to kill you with snake venom, among other things. Why did Trump push it? There was no way to stop it, so he sped it up because they were going to kill you. And so your number was up. But we're in war, and people die in war. So he sped it up because there was nothing to do. So by speeding it up, there was less deaths. So I hope that helps cure Sheepnesia of why the president sped up the poison, because the poison was coming. The poison train left the station. There was no stopping it, but he made it leave the station a lot quicker, so they couldn't fill up every cargo.
But he was exposing the corporation because of this.
Absolutely.
Here's the other way people need to see it is this. They have free will too. They have free will. And at the end of the day, I just said this the other day, and I'll take heat from it. That's fine. I don't care, because it's either my body, my choice, or the president can tell you what to do with your body. Which one is it? You can't have one without the other. So all throughout 2019, that's why this operation is so key. Every little detail. Remember 2019, all these parades across the country, women wearing these suits that look like the JJs, right? The full body suits, right? They look like, and a lot of them look like stuff that you could submerge your whole body in Jack Daniel's plant, and you wouldn't want to look at some of these women, right? But then we can't define the woman. But my body, my choice was all throughout 2019. My body, my choice. All these parades, all these rallies across the country, and they were hating Donald Trump. And remember, got to take a step back there, right? But then, fast forward to 2020. Oh, it's Donald John Trump's fault, right? You're the one. Now all of a sudden you want him to tell you what to do with your body. Which one is it?
Right.
Like, y'all are confusing what I need to hack next. I don't know what to do.
Derek,
right?
when you have this, I mean, I feel bad.
You know what I mean?
You just can't.
But it's hard. It's hard, Steve. I don't know what to hack because one minute I'm like, you know,
Derek, I want to do a part 2, maybe in a week or two. I don't want to go very long because I want to hit.
Yeah.
I just want to hit on the stuff and tell people. So I got the documents here. I got it up on the screen, right? That's where you have. I mean, you beautifully lay out factually. You didn't write it. You broke it down from the executive orders. Here's the thing I want to also say. Did President Roosevelt not extend his presidency because we were in war? Yes or no? FDR.
No, that was me. No, that was
you
me.
Did that?
Remember?
Oh, you went back
Yeah.
and you wrote that history. Okay. Because I thought because we went to war that FDR was able to extend the presidency because we needed a commander in chief to protect us.
I was Congress. I was Congress's, like, I was their ear and their voice at both of it.
You did that. You're amazing, man. You look great for your age.
Yeah.
So factually, that happened, and he told you, right? He tells you everything. He said, "Yeah, I'm a wartime president."
Roosevelt told Congress. It's my duty as Article 2 of the Constitution, as Commander in Chief, to uphold my responsibility and the oath of the Constitution. Right? He told them. He didn't ask them. He told them. He said, "And who do you think the military is going to listen to? You or me? Which one do you think?"
Right.
And I would have loved if that one got to a coin toss and go, "Okay, let's see which ones, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here they go. What are you going to do, military? Are you going to listen to Congress? You're going to listen to me." All right. He told Congress. Congress gave Roosevelt the power to restructure the executive branch where a president could declare war by national emergencies. That is 50 U.S. Code, which is actually titled War and National Defense. National Defense.
Is that nonsense you're talking about? That is all laid out right now. What's happening again?
Yeah, that 50 U.S. Code, Chapter 33, Section 1541 that I had.
You're full of
years
crap.
ago.
You okay?
I wrote it years ago.
You're full of. You're full of crap. Okay, that didn't happen with FDR. Yeah. He wasn't a wartime president. He didn't extend his. He didn't go into his third term. You're an absolute liar, Derek.
He didn't die in his fourth term at all. He did not die in his fourth term at all. 13 years, totally a facade.
Bro, there it is, the documents. I got to get you some of the links to share. Our 2 short videos showing Biden's funeral with the links showing President Trump's inauguration at the airport. I got the inauguration fake. It's called WTF Hollywood Hoax inauguration. I think people are ready to start watching these things again, and we're gonna do another show. I'll call the boss K in a little while, and we'll set something up for a week or two so we could do part 2, because I don't want to go very long because Sheepnesia is very short attention span. I want to keep this short, to the point. You got your merchandise, which, I mean, what a man, you're a real fraud. I mean, you sell like T-shirts of a design that you made up.
Yeah,
to try to get some.
Everybody click buy. I'm like, click buy.
Man, I mean, you're a fraud. This is my design, Jesus and Justice for All, and people hate me too because, like, I don't really have like a job except trying to cure Sheepnesia. Like, I've dedicated my life. I got fired by my manager, my agent in the entertainment business and everything. I've lost everyone because I'm a psychopath and everything, right? So I made a design that came to me, and I try to get some gas money by actually selling something. Like, you go to the store and you buy a hat or a shirt. That's all cool, but if you sell a shirt or a hat, you're a shithead,
Trying to make a living. That is so. What's up with that?
It's unbelievable, bro. We got to do this again. I had so much fun. Do you want to say anything in closing to folks?
No, I'm just gonna go try to hack a Snickers right now. That's about it.
You got to hack it, bro. You got one. I'm down with 2 minutes now. You want to say goodbye to Derek?
Bye, Derek.
See you later, Dad.
He said, "Keep the faith." So, I'm going to edit this video. I'm going to re-release this for the Grassroots Warrior Network, a brand new network, because the news is out of business, Derek, already. It's a TV show that our military's been running, right? Isn't that so great to know that? Isn't that so great to know
47
that?
U.S. Code 606.
Which
I
one?
had that
Which
too.
one? Which one?
47 U.S. Code 606. I had that too. And I titled it, just coincidence, I titled it War Powers of the President.
Right.
So,
and
just
so
coincidence.
the president has the power to shut down, the federal facilities, put the fence around.
Yeah,
Put
nothing big. TV, internet, radio, broadcast,
TV,
closing government facilities.
TV,
something
internet.
I don't know. A fence around the Capitol building may be a coincidence. I don't know.
Derek, you know what I want to tell people? Because I want them to do some work. Anyone that lives in Washington, right? So for the movie, right? For the movie, there's supposed to be like, this is a great one to leave on. There's supposed to be hearings going on just about every day, right? At the Capitol. I mean,
Capitol,
right?
Guantanamo Bay.
Right.
We have Guam. We have Northern Mariana Islands.
No. For the movie though, right? Like for the movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like for Sheepnesia sufferers, right? Like,
yeah.
Hey guys, are you gonna watch the hearings on Monday's Memorial Day? Thank you to our veterans, past and present. Thank you for this global fight. Thank you. I love everyone so much. Thank you. Saving the children, everything. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to our military, honestly. But so Tuesday, Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe. I mean, like in the news, hearings will resume. They're investigating the Bidens, the FBI, the whistleblowers, like everything we already know. The Hunter Biden laptop. These hearings are going on, right? So I beg anyone that lives in Washington, doesn't this make sense? Like in the past, if 100 or more Congress people have to go to the Capitol each day, it's not a hotel. They have to leave. They usually leave for lunch. They leave at the end of the day. Do me a favor, go to Washington when the hearings are the next time. Camp out, bring a cooler, get there about 3-4 in the afternoon, find a good spot, and for the next few days, just go around the whole Capitol and let me know when you see 200 or more cars come in, because each congressperson is going to come in their own limo, their own SUV, each one. They have staff. So, I mean, just in reality, Derek, how many cars would have to go in and out of the Capitol daily for these hearings? Just to be safe, 200?
Yeah, I mean,
200.
for sure. I mean,
so I want,
I mean,
shut your mouth, everyone, unless we can get someone.
Yeah.
I know Nancy Drew does a great thing, but I want someone to go specifically for this. When the hearings are going on at the Capitol, that's not closed down, go camp out and let me know how many cars you see go in and out of the Capitol. I'm going to tell you the answer, but I want you to go. It's going to be 0 or maybe 4 for the people that just have to go in, to make sure the prisoner of war flag is still hanging up there, which was under the inauguration, by the way,
upside
Derek,
down.
right? For the first time ever in history.
Upside down on the Senate
I want
building.
people to go. I mean, Derek, we can't stop, bro. God is counting on us to cure this, okay? To prepare people. We didn't talk about, we'll do that on the next show. You coming back in a week or two? We're talking about what you think the upcoming scenes in the movie, as far as when do the banks go completely out of business? When does the paper dollar completely disappear? I want to talk about that next time. When and how do you think does the complete pandemic get exposed, of how they were trying, Bill Gates and Fauci and all these sick bastards were trying to depopulate and carry out their plan of maintaining humanity at 500 million or less, which was on the Georgia Guidestones that God destroyed. I want to talk about these things. When do you think these upcoming scenes are going to be unfolded to the public? July 4th, I know, finally, the sound of freedom. So July 4th, Sheepnesia sufferers have an opportunity to start learning about the horrors would have happened to the children forever and ever and ever and ever. That's July 4th. That's on Independence Day. People are going to start to learn what happened about the children. So can we do this maybe next week to get your opinion of what you think? Because everyone thinks they're getting money with Nasara Jasara, and I keep telling everyone, no one's getting rewarded. You got to get off the couch. You got to wake the F up. You got to go fight for God. You got to let him know what the hell's going on. Seek God if you don't have him, and you got to do what you can to save America and save this planet. The last thing you're getting is money. The very last thing at the end of this movie, you might get money if we even deserve it at that point. Do you agree with me, Derek? Money's the last thing.
That's right. Yeah, people too focus on money. The other thing is I wanted to. Well, when you say a retribution, we're talking about the cleaning of the debts in the Bible. That's a whole different thing. That doesn't mean that you're going to be distributed all kinds of money. That has nothing to do with that. So people have to understand, God still is going to have us. If we're living, breathing, walking, he's still going to have a plan for us moving forward that we have to still contribute to his kingdom in order for us, when he's done with us, to get there, right? So it's like we're not going to stop living our life as it is. We're not going to stop doing things. We're still gonna have to work. We're still gonna have to do things like this. It's just gonna be a cleansing of this corrupt system that we've been living under for many, many years. And by the way, speaking of July the 4th, July the 1st, I'm kicking off the Derek Johnson Drop the Mic tour in Fort Worth, Texas. So I get to finally drop it right here. First show I get to do it on, right? So
So, are you headed anywhere up north? Because I've driven 60-something thousand miles, Derek.
Yeah, that's part of our, when we were on the True Tour, there are a lot of things up there up north. I hear so much that no one wants to go up there because they're afraid of how liberal it is. And I'm like, that's one of the very places we're going to go as many as we can. And so
you have to come up here, man.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to incorporate it. This is not just going to be, like Law and Order beating people. We're going to have music and things that create that camaraderie with people. No, there's not going to be any special kind of seating. Everybody's going to be a VIP. Everybody's going to get the meet and greet. It's not going to be anything like that where you get specifics of this, and this. No, it's like this is a true, like you said the key word a while ago, grassroots. It's truly the way. It's going to be a Southern hospitality thing all over the nation with me showing people what it's supposed to look like. So,
I love it, bro. We love you, brother. I'll catch up with you in a little bit. I'm going to call Kathy. I'm going to put you on the spot. You're going to come back when you can, when the schedule's open in a week or so, when God wants it, so we can finish up how we think the final scenes of the movie go. You coming back? I think I lost you.
Yeah,
there.
I'll be back.
See?
Back.
Oh, there you go. All right. I'm like, his service is going to go out now, right?
Oh, you lost me? Crap.
Right, brother.
Yeah. No, sorry. Yeah,
I love you so much.
I can't hack my own system.
All right, brother. I love you, man. Keep fighting. Keep going. He said, see you, Pops. All right, bro. We're out of here. I'll catch up with you later. This was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to our next one, brother. Keep the faith. And God does win, right? But we got to help him. See you later, brother.
I'm Steven Tenner. I did drive the Mystery Machine around the country. 40,000 plus miles. Was at most of the Trump rallies. Met a lot of warriors and patriots and drove around with, it's a big billboard and a giant red pill machine and doing my part and showing up wherever I could. And now I seem to be home, and God has shifted me into helping to heal. So if you guys want information about the healing frequency that I'm majorly involved with, you can send me an email at TennersTribe@gmail.com, and I'll send you some incredible information and I'll show you that device and what's going on. So thanks again. Wearing my cowboy hat in honor of Derek the Cowboy. Thank you again, Derek, for everything that you've done, your service, your continued service. I think you're doing greater things now, actually, than what you did before. God handed you the reins to educate everyone about the Law of War Manual, the global military operation. It's time that the entire world knows now what's going on, so we can see the beautiful, beautiful future. We'll see you next week on the Grassroots Warrior Network. Thank you for your support. The link is down there. Again, it's made possible by patriots like you. I'm Steven Tenner from Tenner Talk, where we speak truth and from the heart, always. All of my amazing videos of nostalgia with all of the accurate information about the fake inauguration, the funeral with Biden, Trump's inauguration, how Antifa and the FBI staged the whole fake January 6th insurrection, all of that stuff. I was at January 6th. I'm the second person in line out of all of those people. I have all of those cool videos. Visit sheepnesia.com or TennersTribe.com and just click on the Rumble link, because they always take my YouTube down, and click on the Rumble link and you just scroll up and there's a plethora of videos up there. Thank you for your support. Have an amazing day. We'll see you next week.